Whenever sorrow weighs you down and it feels as if you are losing everything around you, do not settle for merely surviving. Pause and become aware. This is not just another ordinary video. When the darkness seems undefeatable, it is an urgent call to awaken the strength within you. Here, we will not deny the pain nor decorate it with empty words. We will face it directly. We will look it in the eyes and transform it into clarity, calm, and strength. Because sadness does not have to be a prison. Sometimes it can be a bridge that carries you into a stronger and more resilient version of yourself. And if today you see no way out, I am staying with you, because what you are about to hear may become the start of your transformation. Before we begin, there's one thing asked of you. Write this sentence in the comments. Today, I choose to be strong. Don't overthink it. The words you write act like a direct command to your mind. This is not just a comment. It is a contract with yourself, a seed planted into your subconscious. And that seed will begin to reshape the way you think. By writing it, you acknowledge it, accept it, and let it become part of you. If you are ready, let's begin. First, do not deny sadness. Recognize it as a sign that your heart is still alive and capable of feeling. The sorrow moving through your chest may burn, yet it is also proof that you are still connected to life. Do not try to tear it out or pretend it doesn't exist. Sadness is not a mistake. On the contrary, it is a reminder that you still love, you still care, and your heart still beats with strength. Your tears cleanse the heavy weight your soul carries. If silence is what you need, allow it. Take a breath, feel it, and let the wave pass through you. Every emotion needs a cycle to be complete. When you reject it, it stays stuck inside. When you accept it, it begins to move on its own. Resistance is the chain that makes emotion heavier. Acceptance is the key that sets it free. Remember, pain does not always come to destroy you. Sometimes the greatest lessons are revealed in the very moments when everything seems to fall apart. Ask yourself, what is this feeling trying to show me? Which value have I forgotten? What bond with myself have I neglected? Which boundaries must I rebuild? When you listen to sadness, it turns into a silent teacher. It gives you clarity, direction, and profound awareness. That's why you should not fear giving yourself permission to pause for a few days. Because the world we live in glorifies constant happiness, as if life were a straight line always moving upward. But the truth is, to see clearly, sometimes we must stop, feel, and allow ourselves to be reborn. Yet the soul also needs to form its own scars, to process wounds that do not fully close, and to place the weight of memories where they belong. Allowing time for this is a wise choice, not a weakness. If grief feels like it is taking your breath away, you don't have to carry it alone. You can share it with a trusted friend, pour your thoughts onto paper, or record your emotions in your own voice. Releasing what has been bottled inside breaks the cycle that eats away at the mind. What is left unexpressed only grows heavier within. In dark days, focus on the simplest actions. Taking slow breaths, drinking a glass of water, moving your body a little, or opening the window to let in the light. These seemingly small steps are solid anchors that connect you to the present. They prevent your mind from getting trapped in the labyrinth of negative thoughts. In moments of sorrow, your mind may replay the same images and words again and again. Instead of being swept away, observe them. Imagine they are clouds drifting across a gray sky. You cannot stop them, but you can allow them to pass. Every time you manage this, a small space of calm grows within your heart. Over time, these spaces connect, and one day you realize you can finally breathe without constant pain. The wisdom of life reminds us that while we cannot control what happens, we can always choose our response. Even the strongest emotions are like guests, they come and they go. True peace lies in not completely identifying with them. To accept feelings without suppressing them, yet not become enslaved by them, is the essence of inner strength. Do not force yourself into sudden cheerfulness. The goal is not artificial happiness, but a balanced state where you can see things with a wider perspective. In that space, you no longer react only on impulse. You act with awareness. The calm that follows the storm is far more powerful than pretending to be happy at all times. As sorrow begins to loosen its grip, nourish yourself. Listen to inspiring music. Walk in nature. Spend time with people who uplift your energy. This is not about filling an empty space. It is about rebuilding your inner world on stronger foundations. Second, healing does not mean denying the damage. Healing does not mean erasing the past or acting as if it never happened. What happened, happened, and its marks remain in memory. But healing means not allowing those marks to steer the course of your life. Scars may remain, but their role is not to rule over you, it is to add strength. Many wounds stay open because we keep scratching them. Returning to the same memory every day keeps the pain alive. Healing is choosing to step out of that cycle. It is not forgetting, it is refusing to let pain lock you in place. Yes, some days the echoes of the past will return. A scene, a smell, a single word may awaken old pain. The difference is that once you've healed, these reminders no longer paralyze you. You see them, acknowledge them, and move on. This is true strength, to remember, but no longer be imprisoned by the memory. The first step of healing is to look at your wound without turning away. Name it. Understand its origin. See how it has shaped you. Sometimes your greatest gain does not come from what you lost, but from the strength you found in surviving. That is the moment when the seed of resilience begins to grow. Do not shut life out using your past as an excuse. Use it as a compass instead. As you move forward, you will know which paths to avoid and which boundaries to protect. Every calm response, every decision not to give in to anger strengthens your spirit again. Healing is not dependent on others returning to you. The apology, the explanation, the compensation you expect may never arrive. And if your peace depends on them, you will remain incomplete. True closure comes from within. This is the decision to say, I am moving forward on my own path. Forgiveness is also part of this process. To forgive is not to approve of what happened, but to free yourself from the poison of anger. Sometimes forgiveness includes creating distance. You don't have to sit at the same table. What truly matters is breaking the chain within you. Healing also means caring for your body and mind. Sleeping regularly, eating well, moving your body, and taking deep breaths. These remind your body that you are no longer in danger. When the body feels safe, the mind finds it easier to let go. Yes, there will be stumbles along the way. Sometimes an old memory may shake you again, but this is not a setback. It is a sign of progress. If a memory that once consumed your days now only takes a few minutes of your time, that is growth. You must also be mindful of the company you keep. Some people, knowingly or not, may reopen your wounds. Your story does not belong to everyone. Be careful who you share it with, because healing also means setting boundaries. The wisdom of life reminds us, pain is inevitable, but endless suffering is a choice. You cannot hold on to what has slipped away, but you can use the lessons learned to build a stronger future. Healing is not a destination, but a daily commitment. Each step loosens the old chains. One day, when you look in the mirror and see your scars, you will remember not what you lost, but the strength you have gained. Because healing frees you from being a prisoner of the past and makes you the architect of your future. Third, change the person in the mirror. The change you want to see in your life does not begin outside. The real beginning is the face that looks back at you every morning in the mirror. The world is largely a reflection of your beliefs, attitudes, and choices. If you transform within, the world you see outside also changes. If you lack respect for yourself, you cannot expect it from others. If you are not honest with yourself, seeking honesty around you is in vain. When there is conflict inside, it is hard to find peace outside. Often our harshest criticisms of others are reflections of unresolved inner struggles. That is why the most urgent task is not fixing the outside, but finding harmony within. The starting point is to observe your own reactions. When things don't go as you wish, how do you respond? Do your words reflect the person you want to be, or the person shaped by anger? Do you remain stuck in complaints, or do you seek solutions? Such questions may be uncomfortable, but when asked sincerely, they open the door to true transformation. Listen to your inner voice. If the first voice in your mind always undermines you, do not expect the voices outside to sound any different. Reshaping your self-talk is the foundation of confidence. This is not self-deception, but treating yourself as fairly as you would someone you care about. Change begins with small steps. One day controlling your anger a little more, another day keeping a promise you made to yourself, or finally completing a task you've long postponed. These small advances gradually reshape your identity. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Saying, "When I have more time, when conditions are right," only postpones change. Life does not wait. Transformation begins now with what you have. Choose environments that nourish the direction in which you want to grow. If you spend time with those who constantly complain and spread negativity, it seeps into your mind. Inspiring people, valuable books, constructive ideas, and supportive spaces lift you higher. The energy you take in shapes the strength you project outward. Consistency is the critical point. When your thoughts, words, and actions clash, trust is broken both in your own eyes and in the eyes of others. But when your actions align with your words, respect arises naturally. The wisdom of life guides us here. You cannot control the world, but you can shape yourself. Your character, your choices, and your response to the inevitable are your true power. Inner transformation prevents outer circumstances from ruling over you. Remember, change is not a final destination, but an ongoing process. There will be setbacks. Some days you may slip into old habits, but what matters most is that each time you rise again. Every day you make better choices, the direction of your life begins to shift. One day, you notice that the face in the mirror is no longer the same. Calmer, steadier, stronger, and the world itself appears different. Because the most profound transformation always moves from the inside out. Look back at the road with gratitude. The past often feels like loss, but when viewed rightly, it becomes a source of great strength. The only condition is not to get stuck there. No matter how difficult the road behind you was, it is made of the steps that brought you to today. Think about it. How many times did you believe you couldn't go on, and yet you kept moving? How many times did you feel broken, but stood up again? The fact that you are still here is already a victory. Sometimes we think we haven't moved forward, but when we turn back, the distance we've crossed surprises us. Every scar is proof that you didn't give up. Every closed door was a redirection protecting you. Every failure opened the way to a new path, if only you choose to see it that way. Yet beware of idealizing the past as a golden age. Those days too carried fears and uncertainties. What makes them shine now is only that they are over. Don't belittle the present by falling into this illusion. Use the past as a springboard. Regularly write down the challenges you overcame, not just the great victories, but the small progress, a habit you maintained, a boundary you set, a calm response you gave. These accumulate into a new kind of confidence. Inner growth is equally vital. Maybe once it took you days to recover from anger, now you can find balance within minutes. Maybe grief that lasted months now shifts toward acceptance in far less time. That too is growth. A philosophy of wisdom reminds us the past cannot be changed. View it not with regret, but as a lesson. Learn, thank it, forgive, and then close the page. Life is written forward, not backward. The only rightful reason to look back is to say, it wasn't easy, but I made it. The road was long, yet I arrived here. That perspective fuels your strength and plants hope for the future. Like someone who has reached the mountain's peak, look proudly at the path behind you, then lift your eyes toward the next summit. The true value lies in carrying the past with a gentle smile while keeping your gaze ahead. Don't search for joy where you lost it. Looking for happiness where you once lost it is like trying to fill a broken cup. No matter how much you pour, it leaks away. What once gave meaning, whether a person, a place, or a season, cannot bring the same fulfillment again. Life is ever changing, and so are you. What once sparked joy may now feel like a chain around your heart. Clinging to the old, replaying the same dream, only prolongs disappointment. True courage is opening new chapters. Often, what holds you back is not a lack of opportunities, but attachment to the familiar. Remaining in the past feels safer than embracing the unknown. But real happiness grows not in repeating memories, but in the life you build today. Memories may serve as a compass, but the direction is set by your present steps. Ask yourself, am I still tied there by gratitude or by fear of change? The honest answer will show what you must release. Saying goodbye is not denial. It is honoring what was while letting the story move forward. Turning a page in a book doesn't mean the chapter was worthless. It means the story must continue. It is natural to miss the past, but trying to bring it back is an illusion. You are no longer the same person. Trying to merge yesterday with today is like grasping at shadows. Love it, thank it, and let it go. Teachings of wisdom remind us, time does not flow backward. Chasing yesterday is like trying to hold smoke in your hands. Invest your energy not in what cannot be changed, but in building today. Accept that the past will not return. Remind yourself, the past will not come back. This is not resignation, it is freedom. Because struggling to rewind time leaves only exhaustion and disappointment. People often wish for a season, a relationship, or an achievement to return. But even if it did, it would never feel the same. Because you are no longer the same person. Your experiences, wounds, and lessons have transformed you. This transformation is not a burden, but an opening to a new future. Accepting the past does not mean surrendering to pain. It means stepping away from a battle that no longer needs to be fought. To resist what cannot return is to live inside endless loss. The moment you accept, the chains begin to loosen. Let the phrase, "the past does not return," be a principle you remind yourself often. It teaches you to give your energy to today and tomorrow. Clinging to what has ended is like reading the same book over and over. The lines remain the same. Only when you write do new pages unfold. When you look back, search for lessons. What patience did it teach? What mistakes did it prevent you from repeating? This way, what once chained you becomes a source of wisdom instead of captivity. Closure rarely comes from the outside. No apology, no explanation may arrive. Real closure happens within. The moment you say, "it's over," you close the chapter in your own heart. Then, your steps become lighter. Remember, letting go does not mean forgetting. The past will remain in your memory, but it no longer holds the steering wheel. You are the driver of today. Wise teachers remind us, events are shaped not by what happens, but by the meaning we assign to them. Whether they become cruel, fate, or valuable lessons is up to us. You don't have to carry the weight of the past on your shoulders. When your mind drifts back, ask yourself, does this thought move me forward? If the answer is no, shift your focus to the present and to a small step you can take right now. Even the smallest action is a brick shaping the future. One day, you will realize that the things you let go of no longer hurt. When you think of them, you feel gratitude instead of anger. Because the past did not exist to break you, but to make you stronger. By leaving it behind, you open your hands to the future. Nothing is truly indispensable. Someone, a period, or an opportunity that seems vital today may give way to something else tomorrow. The pain of loss feels heavy because it disrupts your familiar order. Yet over time, what is empty fills with new things. And often, those new things grow you in ways you never expected. People tend to believe what they have is permanent, but life flows. People change, circumstances change, and you change. With change comes new beginnings. To resist only prolongs suffering. To accept is to free yourself. Everything is temporary people, possessions, feelings. Instead of clinging to them, value them while they exist. When they are gone, emptiness is natural. Yet emptiness is also the soil where new experiences take root. Think of your life. How many things you once thought irreplaceable are no longer with you? Perhaps you believed the world would end then, but later you saw that the road continued, bringing new people, new opportunities, new joys. They may not fully replace the old, but they add a new taste, a new value. Letting go is not betrayal. It is surrendering to the natural flow of life. When you remember that everything is borrowed, the weight of loss becomes lighter, because nothing belongs to you forever, not even your own body. This awareness makes life lighter, more peaceful. True resilience lies in flexibility. To adapt to changing conditions protects you from breaking. This is not indifference. It is flowing with the rhythm of life. Build bonds with those you love. Savor your moments. Cherish what you have. But do not make them your only source of meaning. Anything tied only to the external world can change. When your center is within yourself, losses may shake you, but they will not destroy you. Wise voices remind us, nothing we have is absolute. This realization softens loss and deepens gratitude. Everything that enters your life is unique, yet it is natural for it to leave when its time is over. One door closes, another opens. One friend departs, another arrives. One opportunity fades, a better one emerges. Then you will see, nothing is irreplaceable, but everything leaves behind a lesson, a strength, and a new beginning. Real strength is born of will. Muscles weaken, the body grows tired. Yet a strong will can carry even the heaviest burdens. Strength is not in never falling, but in rising again after every fall. You have faced hardships, loss, failure, struggle, and you are still here. That unseen power keeping you upright is not luck, but the discipline, small decisions, and persistence you have shown. Willpower is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. It starts small, keeping your word, controlling anger, listening with patience, maintaining order. Each time you send your mind the message, I can. These messages accumulate, becoming the strength to overcome greater obstacles. Motivation fades, but willpower is the root that keeps you standing in the storm. When you do the right thing, even when you feel like doing nothing, you build true strength. This does not only lead to achievement, but also nurtures self-respect. Real strength seeks no applause. It is quiet, but felt in the deepest moments. One day, you will look back and realize what brought you here was not luck, not coincidence, but your unbroken will. Do not search for yourself, build yourself. Life is not a treasure hunt. Waiting to find your true self hidden somewhere only distracts you with illusion. The real journey is creating yourself. You were not born as a finished masterpiece. You are shaped by the choices you make, the actions you take, the habits you keep. Who you are is not discovered by chance. It is built step by step. If you want to be brave, face what you fear. If you want discipline, start with a small action today. You are not your dreams. You are the sum of your actions. The labels placed on you by family, society, or surroundings do not define you. The real question is, do my actions today reflect the person I want to be? If the answer is no, then it is time to change. Do not hide your mistakes, but do not let them define you either. Use them as material. Every failure adds another layer to your character. Every success strengthens your confidence. Choose your environment carefully. Surround yourself with people who inspire, with ideas that lift you, with places that remind you of high standards. Everything you take into your mind eventually shapes who you become. Discipline is the foundation of building yourself. Random efforts cannot create a lasting life. Small but consistent steps lay the stones of your future self. Keeping the promises you make to yourself creates the greatest power in the long run. True freedom is not waiting for the world to change, but reshaping yourself. This process never ends. If you are in the same place 5 years later, you have truly lost. Life is alive through change. Every new stage requires you to shed an old identity and replace it with a stronger one. One day, you will look in the mirror and fail to recognize who you once were. Because you did not wait for change, you built yourself day by day, revealing your true self through steady creation. Everything is temporary. This is life's most basic truth. Nothing lasts forever. Joy and sorrow alike eventually give way to something else. No matter how intense a moment feels, time reshapes it. That is why you should neither cling too tightly to happiness nor believe sadness will imprison you forever. Even your brightest moments will take on a different color with time. A reward, a great success, or unforgettable joy, these too fade. That does not make them worthless. Instead, it reminds you to savor the moment. Beauty matters precisely because it flows. The same is true of dark seasons. They are not endless. No matter how heavy the weight, no storm is eternal. When you carve the phrase, "this too shall pass," into your mind, your endurance grows. Without dismissing pain, you understand it will eventually give way to lightness. Life is a cycle. Just as seasons follow each other, so do the moods of the human spirit. To reject winter while waiting for spring is meaningless, just as it is to demand only pleasant days in life. True balance comes from knowing that all states are temporary. Humility in success, patience in failure. This is the awareness of impermanence. You know that fame or wealth may one day slip from your hands. Likewise, the wounds that hurt you today will soften with time. This understanding prevents both arrogance and despair. Place small reminders in your daily life, on your desk, your phone, somewhere you often glance. This too shall pass. When the weight of the moment threatens to crush you, these words bring you back to center. Ancient teachings regarded time as the greatest teacher. Time humbles the proud and heals the broken. What remains for us is to accept the inevitability of change and protect our balance. Remember, chasing permanence leads to disappointment. Embracing impermanence leads to freedom. Both happiness and pain will pass, and each passing leaves behind new wisdom. One day, you will look back and realize your life was a journey of moments you thought would never end, yet each one passed. None lasted forever, but every one of them shaped who you are today. Real strength is moving forward with the awareness of impermanence. Blaming others only pushes them into defense. Expressing your feelings from your own perspective, however, builds a bridge. Also, listen to your body. When your breath quickens, your shoulders tighten, or your fists clench, this is a signal. In that moment, pause, take a deep breath, and if needed, postpone the conversation. Because expressing emotions is not about rushing to shout, it is about speaking with awareness. Surround yourself with people willing to truly listen. Not everyone has the capacity to carry your feelings. Choosing the right person is a way of protecting yourself. And in the same way, you can listen to the feelings of others. Real communication deepens with mutual understanding. The wisdom tradition reminds us not to be enslaved by emotions. This doesn't mean ignoring them. It means seeing them, understanding them, and guiding them with clarity. Such an attitude transforms anger into insight and grief into a source of wisdom. Remember, expressing your feelings doesn't just relieve you, it also purifies your relationships. Honest words strengthen trust, neither suppressed nor uncontrolled. A balanced expression nurtures both your peace and the peace of those around you. True maturity is turning emotions into a bridge, not a wall. Life is not always fair, yet your response writes your story. Not everyone begins from the same starting line. Some are born with advantages, while others carry heavy burdens from the very beginning. Opportunities may fall into some hands easily, while for others every step is a struggle. This cannot be changed. But what truly defines you is not the cards you are dealt, it is how you choose to play them. You can spend your life waiting for fairness, but waiting will not give you strength. Real strength is the ability to move forward despite imbalance. An uneven path does not mean you cannot walk it. Every new day holds the chance for a small step. Remember, accepting unfairness is not surrender. It is redirecting your energy wisely. When you focus on your effort, discipline, and adaptability, the road begins to open. Turn life's unfairness into fuel. The most resilient people did not walk the easiest paths. They turned injustices into sources of strength. They used their anger and frustration to push their limits and built a pride no one could take away. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Saying, "I'll start when the time is right," is the same as never starting. Progress means making the best out of the conditions you have now. Be careful with those who constantly complain their mindset is contagious. When you spend time with solution seekers, you begin to see opportunities because your environment reflects your mind. Life philosophy teaches us this. The order of the outside world is beyond our control, but our inner attitude is not. True strength is not in using unfairness as an excuse, but in moving forward in spite of it. Struggles are the same. One morning, you may wake up in the middle of a test you never wanted. In that moment, you must decide, will you be crushed or will you turn the pressure into power? Struggle is not an enemy to destroy, it is a teacher that shapes you. Every challenge gives you a new skill, a new direction. True strength is standing back up when you fall. Even small steps are victories because you chose to move instead of staying still. On this journey, discipline is your most loyal companion. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline keeps you standing. Keeping your promises, getting up to do what must be done, that is the strongest form of saying, "I will not quit." Remember, the mind, like the body, needs training. Hardships are weights that train your spirit. The more resistance you face, the stronger you become. But endurance also requires rest. Long-term resilience comes from finding moments of peace, gratitude, and joy along the way. Wisdom reminds us, we cannot choose what happens, but we can choose how we relate to it. Struggle can consume you, or it can rebirth you. And remember, it is not your mistakes, but the things you never tried that leave the heaviest burden. Years from now, what will hurt most will not be your failures, but the chances you postponed. Don't wait for the perfect moment. The right time is always now. Ask yourself, what step, if I don't take it today, will become tomorrow's regret? Then take that step. Because in the future, your greatest pride won't come from what was easily given, it will come from what you achieved despite hardship. The choice is now yours. You can remain stuck in the past, be consumed by the worries of the future, or recognize the value of today and rebuild yourself. Write again in the comments, today I choose to be strong, because this is not just a phrase, it is a pact with yourself, a seal that will remind you daily of your inner strength, willpower, and determination. No matter what life brings, you remain the master of your response. And that is the one power no storm can ever take away.